The phone vibrated against my thigh like a hornet trapped in my pocket, buzzing insistently as I stood in the bridal boutique, the silk gown pooling around my feet like spilled cream. I answered without thinking, the consultant's pins pricking my hemline forgotten. Ms. Elena Ramirez. This is Mr. Hargrove from Willowbrook Manor. I'm afraid there's been a complication with your booking. His voice was oily, hesitant, like he was reading from a script he didn't believe. We've had to cancel your wedding date. A prior commitment overlapped. My heart slammed against my ribs, a cold sweat breaking out under the lace bodice. What do you mean, overlapped? We booked it 6 months ago. Deposits paid. Invites sent. Silence stretched, then he mumbled. Let me call my daughter. She handles the scheduling. Blick. The line went dead, and in that void, fury ignited, a white-hot blaze that scorched through my veins, turning shock to rage. How dare they? This wasn't just a venue. It was my dream, our future, snatched away like a child's toy. I ripped off the dress, the consultant's protests fading into white noise as I stormed out into the blistering afternoon sun. The city streets blurred, honking taxis, the acrid stench of exhaust mixing with a faint floral perfume clinging to my skin. My fiancé, Marcus, was at work, oblivious, but I couldn't call him yet. Not until I understood. Willowbrook Manor was the pinnacle. Sprawling gardens with fairy lights strung like constellations, a ballroom that echoed with laughter from 100 weddings. We'd chosen it because it felt like us. Elegant, intimate, a sanctuary from the chaos of our families. My cousin Sophia's face flashed in my mind, unbidden. Sophia, with her perfect life, her doting parents who always whispered that she was the golden child, while I scraped by on scholarships and grit. No, it couldn't be her. But doubt gnawed, a persistent itch. By evening I was home, pacing our cramped apartment, the takeout containers congealing on the coffee table. Marcus arrived, his tie loosened, eyes lighting up until he saw my face. What's wrong, Elle? I spilled it all. The call, the cancellation, Hargrove's cryptic words. We dialed back immediately, speakerphone crackling. Mr. Hargrove, this is Elena Ramirez again. What prior commitment? A pause, then a woman's voice, sharp, unapologetic. This is Lydia Hargrove, his daughter. Look, there was a mix-up. Another event booked the date first. We'll refund your deposit. Her tone was clipped like she was swatting a fly. What event? I pressed, my voice trembling with barely contained fury. Marcus squeezed my hand, his thumb tracing circles, but it did nothing to quell the storm inside. Lydia sighed. It's a private party. For Sophia Ramirez. She insisted, and well, family connections. Sophia. My cousin. The room spun, humiliation crashing over me like a tidal wave. She'd stolen my venue for her stupid birthday bash. The one she'd bragged about on social media. Turning 30 in style? Heartbreak twisted in my chest, raw and unrelenting. Sophia and I had grown up together. Sleepovers, shared secrets, until Aunt Carla's favoritism drove a wedge. Sophia got the private school, the vacations. I got hand-me-downs and be grateful lectures. But this was betrayal on a visceral level, a knife twisted in the back while smiling to my face. She'd texted me just last week. Can't wait for your wedding. Venue sounds amazing. Liar. Resentment bubbled, thick and poisonous, as I imagined her laughing with her entourage, toasting under those same fairy lights meant for my vows. Marcus pulled me into his arms, murmuring, "We'll find another place." It's not the end. But it was. Invites were out. 150 guests, including judgmental relatives who'd whisper about our failure. The deposit was our savings, scraped from overtime shifts. And Sophia. She'd pay nothing extra, I bet, because family connections. What did that even mean? That night, sleep evaded me, my mind a whirlwind of denial and dark fantasies. I lay staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, shadows dancing like ghosts. Maybe it was a mistake. Sophia wouldn't do this intentionally. But deep down I knew she would. She'd always taken what she wanted, her charm masking entitlement. Obsession took root, a seed sprouting in the fertile soil of my anger. I scrolled her Instagram, photos of her laughing at brunches, her fiancé, a banker of course, doting. One post. Big plans for the big 3-0. Venue locked in. Time-stamped after our booking. She knew. Humiliation burned hotter, tears soaking my pillow. Marcus snored softly beside me, oblivious to the war raging in my head. What if I confronted her? Screamed until she crumbled. Or worse, sabotaged her party, watched her perfect world shatter like mine had. Morning brought cold resolve, a steely armor over the heartbreak. I called Aunt Carla, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. Tia, did you know about Sophia's party at Willowbrook? A beat of silence, then her warm, oblivious laugh. Oh, Mija, yes. Sophia was so excited. The Hargroves are old friends. Lydia and I went to school together. When Sophia mentioned wanting a garden party, I called in a favor. Why? Favor. The word landed like a slap. Because that's my wedding venue. They cancelled on me. Her gasp was genuine, or so it seemed. Dios mío, Elena, I had no idea. Sophia said it was available. Liar or enabler. Guilt flickered in her voice, but it did nothing to soothe my resentment. I'll talk to her, she promised. But I hung up, knowing she wouldn't. Sophia always got her way. The days blurred into a haze of quiet planning, my inner thoughts a battlefield. Doubt crept in. Was I overreacting? Weddings were material. Family was blood. But no, this was about respect, about being seen as equal, not the afterthought cousin. I fantasized justice. Slipping into her party uninvited, spilling red wine on her white dress, whispering truths that exposed her selfishness. Fear mingled with excitement. What if it backfired? Marcus noticed my distraction, his brow furrowing over dinner. Elle talked to me. I forced a smile. Just stressed about rescheduling. Lies but necessary. He didn't need to know the obsession gnawing at me. The hour spent researching the Hargroves online. Lydia was divorced, ruthless in business reviews. Cutthroat scheduler. Her father, old and frail, probably just a figurehead. Family connections indeed. Subtle hints of vengeance emerged in my actions, slow and strategic. I emailed vendors feigning calm, due to unforeseen circumstances. But inside, resentment festered into something darker. I drove past Willowbrook one evening, the iron gates gleaming under twilight, gardens lush with roses that mocked my loss. A worker was setting up lights for her party. My fists clenched on the wheel, knuckles white. Moral conflict warred. Revenge would make me like her, petty and cruel. But justice, that was different. Poetic. I parked, heart pounding, and slipped through a side gate, the gravel crunching underfoot like broken glass. The air was thick with jasmine, a sensory assault that heightened my pulse. Hiding behind a hedge, I watched workers unload crates, champagne decorations. Sophia's touch, gold balloons, her signature excess. That night, back home, guilt surfaced amid the resolve. Marcus held me as I cried, his whispers soothing. We'll make it work. But my mind raced. What if I exposed the Hargroves' double booking online? Reviews could tank their business. Or worse, tamper with her party somehow. Doubt hit. Was I capable? The girl who'd always played by rules swallowed slights. Obsession won out. I texted Sophia. Heard about your party. Congrats. Her reply. Thanks. Wish you could come, but it's intimate. Intimate. Like my wedding was supposed to be. Rage surged, cold and calculating. Planning began in earnest. Subtle, conflicted, but undeniable. The party was 2 weeks away, my wedding date a ghost haunting the calendar. I buried the heartbreak under layers of resentment, each day sharpening my resolve like a blade on stone. Marcus sensed the shift, his questions probing. You're distant, Elle. Is it the venue? I deflected with half-truths. guilt twisting in my gut. How could I drag him into this? But solitude fueled my obsession. Nights poring over blueprints of Willowbrook I'd found online, tracing paths through the gardens. Inner conflict raged. This wasn't me, the vengeful schemer. Yet betrayal's sting demanded retribution. Sophia's texts arrived sporadically, oblivious cheer. Picked the cake today. Chocolate raspberry. Should have been mine. Aunt Carla called again, her voice laced with unease. Elena, Sophia feels awful. She didn't know. Bullshit. Then why not switch dates? Silence. Her invitations are out. Guests flying in. Course. Always her convenience. Humiliation resurfaced, a fresh wound. I hung up, fingers trembling as I dialed Lydia Hargrove directly. This is Elena. I want an explanation, real one. Her laugh was brittle. Look, your aunt asked nicely, and business is business. Sophia's deposit was higher. Higher. We'd paid full. Manipulation dawned. Aunt Carla's favor was a bribe, undercutting us. Fury boiled, but I kept my voice even. And if I go public? Reviews, social media. Sharp intake. Don't threaten me, girl. You'll regret it. Blick. Threat. That sealed it. Cold resolve hardened. Revenge wasn't optional. It was inevitable. Planning consumed me, a slow burn ritual. I confided in no one. Fear of judgment keeping secrets locked. Fantasies evolved. Not destruction but exposure. Make her feel the humiliation I did. I scouted Willowbrook again. Dusk cloaking my movements. The air hummed with crickets. The scent of fresh-cut grass grounding the surreal. Workers chatted. Sophia's party, big spenders. Jealousy spiked, layered with doubt. Was this worth it? Moral grayness loomed. Her betrayal justified mine. But resentment whispered yes. I noted blind spots. Side entrances, unlit paths. Subtle foreshadowing in my mind. What if something went wrong, not catastrophic, but poetic? Marcus confronted me over breakfast. His eyes searching. You're sneaking out at night. What's going on? Heartbreak flickered. Lying to him hurt most. Just walks to clear my head. He nodded, unconvinced, his hand lingering on mine. Guilt surged, but obsession pushed it down. I needed this closure. Days ticked by, tension building like a storm cloud. Sophia's social media teased. Sneak peek. Garden paradise. Photos of Willowbrook, my venue. Rage peaked, planning crystallizing. I'd attend uninvited, disguised perhaps, and reveal the truth mid-toast. Let her guests see the thief beneath the glamour. The night before, inner turmoil crested. I paced our bedroom, moonlight slicing through blinds like accusations. Fear gripped. What if caught? Arrested. But resolve won, tomorrow justice. Sleep came fitful, dreams of shattered glass and echoing laughter. Party day dawned crisp, the sky a mocking blue. Marcus left for work, kissing my forehead. Love you. We'll replan soon. Guilt stabbed, but I dressed carefully. Nondescript black, hair tucked under a hat. Heart pounding, I drove to Willowbrook, parking blocks away. The gates buzzed with arrivals. Limos, laughter spilling like champagne. I slipped in through the side, blending with caterers, the clatter of trays masking my steps. Sensory overload. Twinkling lights, floral scents overpowering, music pulsing from the ballroom. Sophia held court in a shimmering gown, her laugh tinkling like crystal. Aunt Carla beside her, beaming. Hargrove and Lydia mingled, smug. Hidden in shadows, I watched, resentment coiling. Her toast. To family and friends, thank you for making this perfect. Perfect on my ruins. Session peak time. I stepped forward, phone ready to record, but doubt froze me. Moral conflict. This would shatter family ties. Then a twist. Lydia spotted me, eyes narrowing. You! She pulled me aside, voice a hiss. Leave now, or I'll call security. But her father approached, frail and confused. Elena. The wedding girl. Lydia paled. Dad, go rest. The revelation hit like lightning. Hargrove Sr. mumbled. I told you not to cancel her. Sophia's not worth it. Lydia's face crumpled. Hidden motives exposed. She'd overridden him for the bribe, her family connection a lie to cover greed. Sophia overheard, turning. What? I seized the moment, voice steady despite the fury. They cancelled my wedding for your party. Aunt Carla paid extra to bump me. Gasps rippled. Sophia's eyes widened, heartbreak mirroring mine. Tia. You did that. Aunt Carla stammered. I just wanted the best for you. Chaos erupted. Guests whispering, Sophia fleeing in tears, her perfect night shattered. Lydia argued with her father, the venue's reputation crumbling in real time. I slipped out, cold resolve melting into unexpected guilt. Revenge tasted bittersweet, poetic justice laced with loss. Marcus waited at home, concerned. Where were you? I confessed everything, tears flowing. He held me no judgment. It's over now. But the twist lingered. Days later, Sophia called, voice broken. I'm sorry. I didn't know the full story. We met, resentments aired, forgiveness tentative. The real betrayal. Aunt Carla's manipulation, pitting us against each other for her own unresolved jealousies from childhood. Willowbrook closed temporarily, reviews flooding in. My wedding. Rescheduled elsewhere, smaller, truer. Revenge had its price, family scars, but in the ruins I found resolve. Never again the victim. The hook that jolted me had come full circle, fury to freedom.